I'm sorry, Mr. Douglas.
Here.
Mr. McDonald is excused, he has the stomach bug. Mr. Bruno.
Here.
Our attorney, Mr. Favreau. Our highway superintendent, Mr. Farrell. Our water and sewer superintendent, Mr. Chacho. Our deputy highway superintendent, Mr. Jarvis. Our dog control officer, Chaka. I don't know where, my understanding is Kristen is excused. Oh, nor Bob.
Bob is excused, yes.
Okay.
He told me when I kicked him in that he wouldn't be, I'm sorry.
Okay,
That he
Mr.
wouldn't be
Winup is
coming.
excused. Ms. Barber, confidential secretary to the board, and our guests.
And Ms. Seymour. Thank you. Okay,
Thank you.
number 4. I need a motion and discussion to accept the reports from all departments, water, sewer, Valcourt, highway, town clerk, dog control, youth department, code, zoning, supervisor report, court, website, and banking reports, and JCO.
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Bruno.
I'll second.
Mr. Earl, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, moving right along. Motion to accept the minutes of the regular meeting on April 22nd, 2024. Okay, Mr.
I'll
Duquette.
second.
Mr. Bruno, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Community input, anybody sign in, Jan?
Yes.
Yes. Matt will clear lock on the Sullivan Park.
Okay.
Matt?
Hello.
Uh-huh.
So as we all know, I was here in front of you once before. We got permission to use Sullivan Park for our football, for youth football. We thank you for that. Obviously, the grass is great. Everything turned out great last year. The town straightened it for us and everything. Turned out great. Apparently, the league did not like that very much, so they're going to be taking their games, I guess, back to the high school. Regardless, I don't know what's going on with practice there or not, because I'm not going to be the same commissioner this year. But there has been a change to the lock that's on the building. And I got some stuff in there.
Okay.
So I don't know where, who, what, why, and or when.
Change on the lot
It was changed on the building
in Sullivan
in
Park.
Sullivan Park, yes.
Usually the only one that has that is.
So it was my personal lock that was on there.
Oh, it was your.
It was my personal lock, but we all had a key. There was a key that was hung on the door, on the window on the right side of it, so anybody had access to it if they needed it.
Okay,
That key is still there, but the lock is gone.
okay.
So I'm not sure
Uh,
exactly what happened with
We'll
that.
find it out. Mr. Marino isn't coming tonight. She got excused, so I don't know. I haven't heard anything. Have you, Greg or Mel, as the?
Have you talked to the water plant, but nothing to do with them?
No, I haven't really reached out to anybody else now.
Okay, well, we will find out
Because
what you have in there.
Yeah, I mean, I got some stuff in there, but I know that, I thought that, maybe somebody here would have known due to the fact that it was a town building.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's our building,
You know.
I mean, we've never.
yeah. So that's news
We
to us,
change
to
it.
Matt, we will find
Right,
it
and
out
I
and
mean,
get
I
back
know,
to you.
I mean, as much as we all hate the dog poo that's down there and around there, and we've always had issues with the dogs, we've never had problems, in my opinion, as far as crime down there.
Hmm?
That lock's been on there for a year or two, never had an issue with it. My golf cart, that's a $7,000 golf cart, had been hanging out there for 2-3 weeks during our season when we played. Key was left in it, no issues. My lawnmower was down there all last year, no issues with the key in it. So I'm not really 100% sure.
We'll find out for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Matt.
We have a way to get a hold of you.
Yeah, I bet you 3/4 of you got my.
Still the same number.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
All right.
Everybody got an idea where he lives, so.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Number 7, discussion motion 4-H member request for allowing a small free food pantry at Heyworth Mason. You got guys all got this letter here?
Yeah, I got a lot of questions. I mean, food
Okay.
pantry, is it health department have to be involved? Is it a permanent fixture?
I believe, to my knowledge, and I don't know, I believe it was like canned goods and stuff. Pam, is that how?
I'm sure that's what it is, they wouldn't put anything
Yeah.
perishable down there.
Yeah.
Through 4-H, right?
Yeah, it's through 4-H.
Yep. 4-H with Cornell.
Courtney, what about your end of things? Any idea where they're gonna put it? Or nobody's got it, but yeah.
I'm sure we could find a spot for it.
Yeah, they've got the little free library there already, so.
I could put it somewhere near that, maybe, I don't know, how big is it? Can't imagine it's very big.
Probably equivalent
No,
to.
I think they said it's kind of the same footprint as
Yeah.
the one that's there.
I guess there's no harm in my opinion.
Craig, you're looking at maybe.
I didn't think it was gonna be built properly for $200, you know, to make it look halfway decent. I didn't realize that our emails were public knowledge. Is that something they have to, all our emails for the town are public knowledge and keep
Your town email address?
Yeah. Without asking for FOIL?
Your email address, you mean?
No, just our emails that we're sending out.
I don't understand what you're asking.
My
Oh,
email is
your
right here.
response, not your email address.
Yeah.
Who did it go to?
And it went to the rest of us on the board.
It also went to the rest of you and the board in your email.
Right, exactly, that's what I said. Now it's at a public meeting.
Nobody else has it besides the board members in there.
Okay.
So if there's, I mean, would you prefer then that?
I would rather see it. I mean, this picture doesn't show me anything, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I want
I mean-
something down there, it's a nice park, I don't want something that's gonna look like
Right.
a bird feeder, you know.
I'm not personally myself against it. I mean, if she's going to, it's going to be a 4-H program through Cornell, but it probably would have been nice if maybe we should have asked Mrs. Badger to come and
Yeah.
explain it to us.
And we've had the Boy Scouts put up the
Right.
planets, and that didn't work out very well, you know, because we had to redo them. So we want something that's gonna be there, it's gonna be fixed properly and permanent, and looks decent, you know.
How's the rest of you guys feel? I mean, it's for Marina.
I'm for it, 4-H, knowing the group that's usually involved with it all.
Right.
You know, it'd be nice to see the product though a little bit, just so we know,
Just, you know, I mean, so,
or what the game plan is, but
Yeah.
outside of that, I think it's a great idea for the kids.
so Pam, could you maybe email her back or whatever and just say that, you know, we like the idea here, but we kind of like just to see what the question would be.
Ideally, if she come in and tell us exactly
Yeah.
what,
If we could put her on and,
Better vision.
yeah, right.
I can-
And
I'll
I'm
help
sure
her.
we're gonna do it before,
Yeah.
because I
Make sure
think it
there's
would
no
be.
permitted issues. I don't think with non-perishable.
Yeah, it was just like canned goods.
No, it's not gonna be
shelf.
that. It would be
I
all
mean, I could call it,
non-perishable.
I could call the health department and find out, make sure there is nothing on there. That would be nice.
Yeah, nobody
It's
is,
usually prepared foods. but-
yeah.
nobody's gonna put perishable items in that, it just
Guys would love it when they come.
Okay, so, you wanna just table it then, and then we will ask to speak to her, and, you know, the board is for it, but we'd just like a little more information.
I don't think we have a,
I'm sorry.
okay, I'll table a motion.
And then we'll just ask her to.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to table
Okay.
it.
Motion by Mr. Bruno.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Duquette, all in favor.
More information, correct?
So more
Yes.
information, so Pam, if you would please, just ask to say, you know, I think the consensus is we're not against it. We just would like to see, you know, what's going to do. And Courtney, does that work for you though? I mean, you know.
Unless you got a second.
No, I mean, because, I mean, she's gonna have to get with Courtney or try to say, you know, or with us and say where she's gonna put it, and I just
Yeah,
pop that up.
makes sense alongside.
So who's gonna stock it, the public stocks it?
No, no, well, I think how some of these do, I am not sure, Greg. I mean.
She said she'll manage the upkeep of it.
Yeah, I think it's all like
So I
part of a
think-
4-H program, all
Yeah.
the kids will do the
So if it's
programs
4-H,
through.
you know, whether it's like the 4-H members, Greg, they could be bringing in, you know, like non-perishable items, and
Mhm.
keep it, you know, replenished.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, number 8 is a resolution and discussion update on the highway department's surplus equipment sale. Mike, we're.
Yep, we had the bid open at 10 o'clock this morning. We got one bid for the 2009 International with the plow gear, which is scrap only from Jimmy Rock's Garage for $4,500. My suggestion is to sell it, get it out of our hands. There was no bids for the 1996 International. It's just got a water tank on it, which is scrap too. Off-road use only. So,
I'll make that motion, accept the bid.
Okay, Mr. Bruno, Mr. Duquette.
I'm surprised we got that much per bid for it, to be truthful.
what's that?
I'm surprised we got that much for it.
Yeah, I was,
Well, Mike said, when we were here, he said that he thinks he wants like the plow stuff on it, right?
yeah, he's gonna,
Yeah, he'll
like he said, if he got it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He'll,
Jimmy's-
you know, he's just gonna use it to plow his yard, and when it blows, it blows.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Resolution authorizing the town supervisor to approve the sale of the highway department's 2009 International Model 7400 dump truck to James Rock. Whereas it has been determined in consultation with the town highway superintendent that the town has no further need for a 2009 International Model number 7400 dump truck, hereinafter referred to as the truck, and whereas the town supervisor is hereby authorized and directed to make known to the public that such sale to be as is with no warranties or guarantees expressed or implied. And be resolved that the town supervisor accept the bid for the truck from James Rock for $4,500 and no cents. And is further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Mr. Duquette?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
And Mr. Bruno?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okey-dokey, number 9. Resolution discussed and accepting the cybercrime security insurance coverage quote. I asked Pam, that's our insurance company, is requesting that, right, Pam? Because I had,
They suggested that we had the crime, the cyber crime, which is not included in our normal liability insurance.
This is an add-on.
Yeah. It is through Travelers, which our other insurance is NYMER. NYMER didn't have as good a policy. And for the difference, you're getting twice as much coverage for, $800 difference or so. So, and that covers everything. We found out how hard it was to deal with the whole scenario with the check issue. And that was an absolute nightmare. When you're talking this, it's way more, and they'll cover everything. We don't have to do hardly anything with it. We do have somewhat coverage. I don't think it's actual coverage, but we are going by with what we have with layer 8, but you know, they don't cover this. This is the insurance policy in case, you know, whatever, anything
Whatever it is.
online.
well, I mean, we probably don't have the choice. I mean, if the insurance
really.
company, you know, pretty much, they want this, so.
This will cover ransomware, hopefully.
Does this cover, like, one of our vendors? Like, if we get hacked and Stewart's is one of our vendors that we pay money to, because of our hack, there's a breach in the Stewart system. And Stewart's then sues us because of the breach. Would this policy cover whatever losses they have, do you know?
I believe
I'm
it,
just using Stewart's as an example, so.
yeah.
Because that would be, that's a great insurance coverage to have.
There is a listing.
Yeah, I couldn't tell based on what that would mean. When you see dependent business interruption, maybe that's what that means. Whether or not we should get this regardless, it'd just be good to know
Yeah.
that if we can.
I believe the dependent business interruption would probably be that, Matt.
Okay, that would make sense then, that was great.
It's not that always get right,
Right.
that we have to.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. If it doesn't cover, maybe worth finding out what it would cost to cover a third party that's breach based on a breach year or an issue year. Because we have some liability money up the door, but some of the vendors that we deal with have much more significant issues of, information comes out based on the breach year. So I guess we should, as long as we do this, might as well find that out now.
Could you call that in, Dan? What is that? Now, who handles this? Does Christie handle this too, or is this? a
No,
separate-
this is Tiffany Garcia with Northern Insurance.
Northern, right? Yeah, but she works for Northern, I didn't know if she,
Yeah, she would know the answer to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tiffany would know.
yeah.
Do you want to table this?
No, I would move forward with this regardless.
No,
This is
okay.
great. I just think it'd be worth knowing if it covers that, and if not, if we don't get it right, if it does cover it, what does it cost, and is it worth it going that extra mile?
I'll make a motion to accept the vote.
Motion by Mr. Bruno,
I'll second.
Mr. Arrow.
A resolution to accept the quote for cybercrime insurance coverage by Travelers Insurance as submitted by Northern Insuring for the town of Peru, whereas the town supervisor at a meeting with Northern Insuring received 2 quotes from Travelers Insurance and has found the need to purchase cybercrime insurance coverage to better cover many of our management liability exposures to the town in the case of breach of security for all of our online presences. Whereas the quotes received on May 8, 2024 from Northern Insuring were option 1 for $500,000 with the coverage for $2,369, option 2 for $1 million worth of coverage for $3,133. The quotes are attached for specific specifications. Whereas the town board feels it is more prudent and cost effective to accept option number 2 for $1 million worth of coverage for $3,133. And be resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately and the town supervisor is authorized to sign all paperwork to execute this purchase as soon as possible.
Mr. Duquette?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
And Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Number 10. Endorsement of LCT revitalization of Snug Harbor Marina. Bob could not make it, but he just said it was pretty self-explanatory, and I apologize. This is to, I don't know, you guys can all read it, and if you have any questions, we can get back to it. I think you all know it's going to be public knowledge that Snug Harbor is going to be sold, or it is sold, so.
This letter was sent
Go
to
ahead.
Brandy and asked him for the town board's endorsement.
Yeah,
So
I'm sorry. Do we know what the plans are? Like, what are we endorsing them to do?
them buying it. Besides what's in the letter, I don't know.
Okay.
It's a blessing, I mean, if you got somebody willing to take that on.
Right, I mean,
Especially that group.
A lot of work to do there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't
You know,
say what work they're done.
Yeah.
Bob knows.
Getting Marina.
Bob knows.
When do they want this letter, do we know?
I can go,
I mean, I just, putting the town's backing behind something we don't know what it is always a little bit not ideal. I mean, them purchasing is one thing, the plans are to upgrade A, B, C, D, and E, and they're gonna have a bunch of fuel tanks in different spots, maybe we want to consider it, who knows? I would just like to know what the upgrade is
Can you
before
go
the town
check
endorses a plan.
the email.
Agreed.
It's probably neat if it just says, we want you guys to send this letter on our behalf. So if Bob's got more information and they don't need
He
this
does, because I
immediately.
was talking to him about it.
All right, I would
Yeah, but I-
suggest tabling this until the next.
You want me to go check the
I didn't
email?
know
It's
exactly
okay if you
what
want to go quick if there's something in it, but if not, we get it from Bob next meeting.
Sort of I did, because
That's
I
all I'm gonna say.
ended up talking to him, but it's not,
So we
Oh,
definitely
yeah?
want to know what
it's
they're
not
doing.
Ray, but it's his son that's
Of course.
buying it.
Our golf course
And
goes
I
right
ended up having a really nice
Yeah.
conversation.
The fact that you're sending it to the APA for
What's not
support,
right?
so,
We were talking about it.
Yeah,
That's
no,
not
they're
how you
redoing, from what I heard,
yeah.
they're
Bathhouse?
redoing
It's residential sewer.
the breakwater cleaning.
Bathhouse and
There's
outhouse, man?
an awful mess behind.
See anything?
They're gonna
Oh,
open.
I'm going, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess they got that cleaned up and there's been money exchanged now with the,
Yeah, There's been a lot of, I think there's been a lot of rumors flying around on what's really going on at that property, so it'd be a good idea to know what we're backing.
It would be better, Bob told me, but you know, I mean, there's a lot going on. They put up a bond, right, for so much to get rid of them old tires and all this stuff. There's a.
That'd be
Do
good.
you have any concerns on there based on water sewer stuff?
Depends what they wanna do with the property, I mean, putting into the municipal sewer.
I was just thinking, the big new marinas now overrun, if you look at those, the docks all have shower facilities and all kinds of stuff that may be pumping into your
Yeah,
sewer
regular
system.
stuff like that's fine, it's the industrial stuff you gotta worry about sometimes.
Something coming out of the shop or something, so
Yeah.
make sure that they have all their pits situated.
I do know that Bob said they're only gonna put 200 slips in this year. That's or less. And then,
You're putting a new
but
restaurant.
they're gonna start,
They're putting a new restaurant in, not this year probably.
not this year, right? Because they're just gonna go like part-time on,
Yeah.
and then next year, I believe.
It says, LCT plans to rebuild the entire dock system and mooring field inclusive of new utilities. We met with the APA last week to discuss LCT's plans to alter the current marina layout and got positive feedback. The APA representatives advised getting letters of support to show the surrounding property owners and community would favor what LCT's plan is. A letter from you as the Peru Town Supervisor may be helpful, so we are hoping you are willing to either use the draft that is attached to this email or another that you deem appropriate. I've copied, this is actually from Neil Facette on LCT's behalf.
Okay, I make a motion to table this till we get more information.
That would be better. I mean,
Yeah, just get some out of the scope of works.
Right.
Just so we
There's
know.
nothing in there that's concerning, but let's figure out what we're endorsing
Yeah.
before we endorse.
Report, right, okay.
Motion to table.
Yeah, Bruno,
Second.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
Right, him, Mel, right.
Melvin, Craig. Or Craig and then Mel, okay, number 11. Acceptance of the shared service agreement with the town of Ausable for the wastewater service. I think we talked about it, Courtney, you're comfortable with it? Okay, so we need a motion.
I make that motion.
Mr. Bruno?
Keep on rolling.
I can second that.
Yeah, Mr. Duque?
A resolution approving a shared services agreement between the town of Peru and the town of Ausable Water Department to share services amongst wastewater treatment facilities and authorizing the supervisor to execute the same, whereas the town board members have the shared services agreement between the town of Ausable and the town of Peru before them, whereas the town of Peru and town of Ausable agree to share services amongst wastewater treatment facilities, whereas the shared service will include the town of Peru chief operating with 3A personnel to provide oversight for the town of Ausable treatment facility, thus satisfying the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation requirements of 6 NYCRR Part 650.4 Sub A. Therefore, be it resolved, said proposed agreement is approved, and the supervisor being hereby is authorized to execute said contract, and be it resolved, this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Roll call.
Mr. Ducat?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
And Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Okay, number 12, discussion, resolution, call for a public hearing on May 29th for the water treatment plant WIIA grant. You want to say anything about that, Courtney?
It's just following through with that stipulation agreement, going along with Barton and Loguidice, what they've determined and the dollar figure they have figured.
Yeah, 94.
So this stuff needs to be done to be able to apply for the WIIA grant June 14th, that's due June 14th.
Do we have a regular meeting already scheduled for 6 o'clock that night? Should we,
Yep.
Yeah,
do we have to go 15 minutes earlier?
I would say that would work.
5:45.
I'm sorry, I didn't see the time.
5:45.
There isn't a time, but
Oh, that's-
usually
Actually,
that's
I've
what
been
we do.
working with John
15.
Fraser and 8:06, but I already mentioned to him that we'd go 5:45, remember? I got the email, I was back later today. So it'll probably be 5:45, I don't know where it says 6 here, but 5.
Section, second page, section 1.
Yeah, so it it's gonna be 5:45. He knows our meetings at 6 o'clock, around.
So
He's a good kid on the block, but he's very, very nice. Easy to work with.
Make a motion for the public hearing, 5:45.
Mr. Bruno.
I'll second.
Mr. Irwin.
A resolution pursuant to section 202B of the New York State Town Law calling a public hearing in relation to the Peru Water District Water Treatment Plant Improvement Project. Whereas the Peru Water District has heretofore been created by the town board of the town of Peru, Clinton County, New York, and whereas the town of Peru owns and maintains the water treatment plant, whereas it has been determined that making improvements to water treatment plant is necessary and is recommended that the town proceed with certain upgrades. Whereas the Peru Water District of the town of Peru proposes making various improvements to the water treatment plant, including installing upgraded treatment system, new backwash storage tank, on-site well, chemical addition and pumping systems, and building addition to house new treatment chemical and pumping equipment. Whereas the capital project hereinafter described as proposed has been determined to be a type 1 action pursuant to the regulations of the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation promulgated pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act, which it has been determined will not have any significant adverse impact on the environment. Whereas the town board of the town of Peru has caused a report map plan and estimate of cost relating to the aforementioned improvements to be prepared by Barton and Loguidice, DPC engineers to be licensed by the state of New York. Whereas the maximum amount to be expended for the aforementioned improvements is $9,400,000. Whereas it is now desired to call a public hearing pursuant to provisions of Article 12 of the town law of the state of New York. Now therefore is ordered resolved and determined by the town board of the town of Peru, Clinton County, New York as follows. The meeting of the town board of the town of Peru, Clinton County, New York shall be held at the town hall, Peru, New York on the 29th of May, 2024 at 5:45 p.m. local time for the purpose of conducting a public hearing on the aforementioned report, map, plan, and estimate of cost, at which time and place the town board will hear all persons interested in the subject matter thereof. The town clerk is hereby authorized and directed to cause a notice of said public hearing to be given by publishing and posting a copy of this resolution in the manner provided by section 3 of chapter 950 of the laws of 1972 of the New York State Town Law of the state of New York. And this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Roll call.
Mr. Duquette?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
And Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Number 13, resolution discussion, accept and allowing the filing of the WIIA funding application for Barton and Loguidice. Have any discussion? I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Bruno, Mr. Duquette.
A resolution authorizing submission of a New York State Water Infrastructure Improvement Act, WIIA, grant application for the town of Peru Water System Improvements Project, whereas the town board of the town of Peru, hereinafter the town duly caused to be prepared a preliminary engineering report recommending proposed improvements to the town water treatment plant to include installing an upgraded water treatment system, new backwash storage tank, on-site well, chemical addition and pumping systems, the building addition to house the new treatment chemical and pumping equipment, whereas the PER shows the estimated cost of these improvements to be $9,400,000, whereas the town of Peru Town Board now desires to pursue grant funding for the project of the New York State Water Infrastructure Improvement Act program. Now therefore it is ordered resolved determined as follows. The town board of the town of Peru, Clinton County, New York authorized submission of the New York State Infrastructure Improvement Act grant application. Town of Peru supervisor is hereby authorized to submit an application on behalf of the town for grant funding under the New York State Water Infrastructure Improvement Act program, and to execute any agreements, instruments, or other documents in connection with the town's acceptance of any such grants and or the funding thereof. The town supervisor may authorize any required local match required with respect to financing or grants awarded to the town for the project using cash and or impact services, and be resolved that this resolution shall become effective May 13, 2024.
Roll call, please.
Now.
Mr. Duquette?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Motion. Okay, number 14, resolution discussion, accepting of Washington Street Phase 2 water sewer main infrastructure. Courtney, you want to say something on that?
Yep, I met with Ken Silver up there, and our stuff all passed its testing back in 2018, but I don't see any reason why the water and sewer mains infrastructure can't be accepted for us to take responsibility.
Good, we need it.
Yeah? Good.
Build it bigger and better.
I guess that guy is going to start building it.
I make the motion.
Mr. Bruno.
I'll second.
Mr. Roll call.
The resolution recommending the acceptance of the Washington Street Phase 2 water and sewer infrastructure as the town improves and authorizing the supervisor to execute the same, whereas the town of Peru Water and Sewer Superintendent Corey Tetro is regularly inspected to build out the Washington Street Phase 2 water and sewer infrastructure. With the final inspection in 2018, the found that it has been built as per the town of Peru Water and Sewer Department specifications. Therefore, be resolved, the Washington Street Phase 2 water and sewer infrastructure be accepted as the town of Peru's, and therefore the town will take over the maintenance of same, and be resolved, this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Mr. Ducat?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
And you get the before you then. Number 15, resolution and a discussion change to the handbook regarding sick time and doctor documentation. Any questions? I guess, Courtney? You got, need a motion?
I'll give a motion.
Mr. Ducat?
I'll second.
Mr. Irwin?
A resolution to adopt a change in the town of Peru employee handbook to revise in regard to section 803 sick leave. Whereas the town of Peru has determined that a uniform set of personnel rules, policies, and requirements for employees and officers is an essential communication tool that promotes consistent and fair practices in the workplace. And whereas the Peru Town Board has decided to update this document to ensure compliance with employment regulations, improve employee communications, and create consistency in policy application. Now therefore, whereas this section shall be changed to section 803, sick leave medical verification, the town will require medical verification of an employee's absence if the town perceives the employee is abusing sick leave or has used an excess amount of sick leave, or when an employee is absent for 4 consecutive workdays or more due to an illness or injury. If an employee is on an authorized leave of absence, provisions of the family and medical leave policy in this employee handbook shall apply. Now therefore be resolved that the town board adopts the town of Peru employee handbook revision on May 13, 2024, and be further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Mr. Ducat?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
And Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Motion carried. Number 15, change to the handbook. Oops, 16, I'm sorry, yeah. Number 16, resolution discussion, accepting a service quote to change out the carbon filters at the water treatment plant. You want to touch anything on that?
Yeah, I ended up having the activated carbon tested, and it's at the end of its life. A little sooner than I expected, but with all the storms we've had, it's had a lot of use, but I definitely want to get it changed now. If it goes too much farther, then it can't be recharged for other services, and we'll end up having to dispose of it at the landfill.
Are you budgeting it for this year or not?
I didn't, but I'm glad to pull the money out of my tower line when it's some extra.
Make a motion.
Second.
I'll second it.
Mr. Bruno?
A resolution approving the General Carbon Corporation PLLC proposal for the service to remove spent non-hazardous activated carbon and the replacement of like materials, and authorizing the supervisor to execute the same. Whereas the town board has 3 quotes for the service to remove spent non-hazardous activated carbon from 3 4,000-pound absorbers and its replacement with an equivalent amount of GC 8x30 activated carbon. Removal of spent carbon from the site is included. Pricing also assumes that the town approval will provide a forklift. Whereas the quote from General Carbon Corporation has the lowest bid for these services and replacement of the activated carbon materials, and therefore be resolved, said proposal from General Carbon Corporation for the total estimated cost of $31,000 is approved for the above mentioned project, and the supervisor being hereby is authorized to execute said agreement, and be resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Mr. Ducat?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
And Mr. Bruno?
Yes. You will add Mr. Duquette's name to that resolution?
I'll change them all.
They have to be changed, but it doesn't matter.
He's not on there. It's Mr. Barker. Might matter a little bit, you vote.
That's what happens when you're doing so many at once.
Not an issue,
Okay.
as long as it's corrected.
Yeah, we should not read them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the same.
Yeah.
That's it. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because I have to certify them all
In the end,
at the end, as long as I read the right name.
that's it. I think all multiple names.
Motion
Me too.
carries. Number 17, resolution discussing accepting the AES agreement for the lead service inventory. You got anything you want to say on that?
Yeah, we have to do this lead service inventory by, I believe, October 14th. I was hoping to do it myself, but I think the best approach is to have AES help us and get it all on our GPS mapping system that Mike and I had done. We have to inventory every water line in the town, to every house, business, and determine the material, which is gonna be hard enough. We gotta determine both sides, the residential side and the municipal side, by going through all our records, and whatever ones we don't know will have to be undetermined. And then down the road, we're going to have to dig up those ones that are undetermined to determine if they do have a lead connection, and then come up with a replacement program. So having this on our GPS mapping system will definitely help us track it better and keep track as we move forward and eliminate them.
Who knows what you're gonna find then.
I've never seen a lead service line in this town, but we do have some places with a lead connection at the main, which is just a 1 foot piece,
Piece, yeah.
and that's what we'd be looking to remove.
Because those are easier. to
Yeah,
replace when you-
it's just the hard thing is,
There's a lot.
if you don't know,
As long as you get a little, your little equipment in there.
if you don't know, we're gonna have to take them up, and unfortunately, most of them are going to be on 22, 22B, and Union Road, all the state county roads.
With our-
But I don't think that, I mean, it is, but you know, that price isn't that bad, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, they handle all the paperwork, which should be submittable for the health department,
I mean, I think that's fairly
and
reasonable.
then again, it'll be on all our mapping, it'll be on our mapping program for, you know, down the road. So,
What would be the percentage of known non-lead connections? Roughly?
don't even know right now, I couldn't even tell you that.
Yeah, you have trash, so you don't know what's gonna be.
Yeah.
It all depends on the year. I'll make the motion.
Okay, Mr. Duque,
I'll second it.
Mr. Bruno,
A resolution approving the AES Northeast proposal for job number 5241 for the compiling information and generating an initial lead service line material inventory as per New York State DOH requirements and authorizing the supervisor to execute the same. Whereas the town board has the AES Northeast proposal for job number 5241, lead service line, lead service line material inventory in front of them. Whereas the purpose of this proposal is to assist the owner with compiling information and generating an initial lead service line material inventory in compliance with New York State DOH requirements and utilizing the New York State DOH LSLI template for submission by the October 16, 2024 New York State DOH deadline. Therefore, be it resolved, the approval of the AES Northeast proposal job number 5241 for compiling information and generating an initial lead service line material inventory as per New York State DOH requirements and authorize the supervisor to execute the same. Be it resolved, this resolution shall take effect immediately.
roll call.
Mr. Dugat?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
And Mr. Bruno?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, number 18, resolution discussing accepting the quotes for the porta potty rentals for the parks.
Absolutely make the motion.
Mr. Bruno,
I'll second.
Mr. Duque,
A resolution awarding the rental of porta potties for the town parks to Morrisville Septic LLC for the 2024 season. Whereas the town board has received 3 bids in response to its request for saving connection with the rental of porta potties for the town of Peru parks for the 2024 season. And whereas the town board agrees that Morrisville Septic LLC was the lowest bidder on the service request, and therefore be it resolved that the bid of Morrisville Septic LLC to provide the porta potty rental and services for the town parks of $680.00 per month and is hereby accepted, and the town supervisor is hereby authorized to execute any further documentation necessary to facilitate and or consummate the bid contract for a price not to exceed this amount, and it is further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Mr. Dugat?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Just one question, is that up, down, or from last year?
140.
One?
140 was 540 last year.
All right.
I think. I might be off a little bit, but I can look real quick.
As long as it's a competitive bid, and that's all you can do, so I'm on board.
Yeah, I did get 3 prices.
Yeah.
Yeah, Donnie's usually the cheapest of the bunch, with good service.
Ultimately get our own bathroom, I'm on board, yes.
Plus last year, PM Leary donated one to Sullivan. This year we're paying for one Sullivan.
Donated Lappin's too.
Or yeah.
Lappin's and Sullivan.
Lappin and Sullivan, yeah.
Both of them, they donate.
And this is into covering all of them now.
No. Leary's donated to Sullivan.
And Lappin's.
And Lappin's,
okay,
yes.
then this is.
But this price is covering everything, the price of
I don't know what it is, doesn't matter.
No, 140s. No.
Roll call?
Mr. Duquette,
Yes.
Mr. Irwin,
Yes.
Mr. Douglas,
Yes.
and Mr. Bruno. Yes.
Number 19, discussion motion, use of community property application, Pal Football and Adirondack Regional Theater. Have you looked at these matters? Okay, well.
As long as they comply with the rules and insurance.
Tiffany is in contact with Travis Lavarnway
Okay.
to make sure that,
Yeah, that's the big one because it's football.
yeah. He had to change some things, we haven't gotten back yet,
Okay.
but Tiffany's on top of it.
I would say both can be approved pursuant to the town's insurance company okaying the liability certificate received from both entities.
I'll make that motion to approve the applications.
Wait a minute, Matt?
Does it say
I'm
anything?
sorry.
Pursuant of the insurance policy.
Does it say anything in there about line striping? Because I just don't want him to think that he's getting line striping for free, because that's something that we paid for last year.
No, it doesn't. It's just asking for permission to use
I
the,
just didn't want.
No, it's camp. This is for camp, Matt.
What's that?
This is for camp.
Oh, this
camp.
is just for camp?
Camp at Lappin's Mills.
Oh,
It has
okay,
nothing to do
okay.
with Sullivan
Nothing to
Park.
do with the practice?
No,
Okay,
no, this is
okay.
for camp. 2 weeks in camp, it says.
Although,
This just Lappins and not Sullivan.
Okay, sorry.
I think Kristen talked to him about the regular, I'm not positive, but I think Kristen talked to him about the camp and whatever the regular is.
Right, 'cause, I mean, as far as being a coaching aspect, you can't, it's hard to practice on a field that doesn't have lines on it. The boys did an awesome job last year, granted, I think what we, maybe $1,500 in paint by the end of the year?
No,
No?
I think you were 750.
750? Okay.
yeah, well, he'll have to put out another application if he's gonna run the Pal football, it's just for the camp.
Okay, because I thought Kristen had already told him he could, but I'm not sure. When he sent the insurance, he sent one saying this is for the camp, and then he sent a different one for the rest.
So the dates requested here are specific, June 1st and 2nd, July 2021, so this would be approving just the camp on those 4 days.
Right, that's what
So
we're approving.
So he has to fill out another one to use it.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We're safe.
So they're approved. Approve pending insurance matter.
Approve pending the town's insurance carrier approving the certificate that they would receive, yeah. I don't think it's a big deal, but a camp that's gonna have the same number of adults and children, he's got 50 adults, 50 children.
I have no idea. Kristen sent him to me.
Okay.
That's all I know.
1-to-1 ratio is a hell of a camp.
Yeah, baby. That's what you want.
50 adults, 50 children, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
it's,
based off of.
yeah.
One states 1-to-1 and wrestling coaching. There's some jams.
That's how you get a chance.
It is. And I think the one for the regional theater, we've done the last couple of years, right?
Yes.
It's like the exact same thing.
Right, that's where it'll be,
That's Ricky's
yeah,
kid used to
no, Tom Lavin.
our cousin. Grandson was in there?
No, his son.
So,
So you got a motion?
That's all we need, so vote, say aye. It's not a resolution.
Okay, yep, you're right. Any other questions? You good? Roll call.
No, just say all in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're done with resolutions until the bills.
I'll help you out, Barton.
That was up, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what's this here? Oh, a discussion. And a motion accepting new customers out of sewer district. Okay.
Yeah, I've never been involved in doing this, so I don't know how this works, but, Kenny Silver's building a house on 22B across from, the old Murphy's Bar. He has access to, municipal water and sewer from a couple lines that go across the road to the old Murphy's Bar. He has obtained permission to tie into those. He is out of district. He might be in the water district, I haven't verified that yet, but I know he's out of the sewer district. I don't know what we have to do to
Enlarge your district.
allow it, either enlarge the district. There is also Don Swain who wants to clear 2 lots off of Winding Brook. He seems to think they're not in the sewer district. Again, I haven't been able to find a clear map yet. Those I kind of thought they were, but, and again, if those are not in the sewer district, what we would have to do to
Extend.
either extend them,
District's based
accept
on-
them, or extend, or make the district a little bigger.
District is based on mapping, a physical map.
Yeah.
So the first question would be then, does the town want to make the sewer district bigger? Assuming the sewer district doesn't encompass it, if you want to make the district bigger, can it handle whatever the properties are that are going to get added to it? That's the first question.
Yeah.
So you gotta answer that first, then
So it can handle the property.
Yes and yes.
So that's a question, how to expand the sewer district, which I don't know off the top of my head. We can figure out. Do you remember who's the engineer we used to set up those districts?
I've never had to do it since I've taken over.
Okay. We can figure it out. How soon do we?
Dan's never done it.
Tom.
Yesterday.
Renee.
Oh, the barge.
The Bombard.
The barge, yeah.
Yeah.
What's Kenny's out like about 80 feet probably out of district. 100
Probably,
feet.
yeah. It goes by lot, or lot numbers.
So a lot of stops and then that,
And we may want to consider too, like, so the water district ends just past, the Orchard on Calkins Road, Everett Orchard on Calkins Road. I'm not sure why they never continued it up to the water plant.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, if we're gonna expand districts, you wanna look to the future, and if we're gonna expand a lot or two here, go farther than what you need right now, assuming that there's gonna be extra properties added. in the future.
100%.
Not just every time.
Yeah, especially Swains maybe go back far enough if he ever does his
So
next
let's-
phase, they're already included.
Let's get current maps and then figure out, according to you and whoever else needs to figure it out, what a proposed map would make sense to be. And then I believe it's gonna be just a resolution to expand the sewer district. I don't know if we need to go through secret and all that first, but we can figure that out.
because Swain owns both sides of the brook too. right?
Yeah, yeah, he owns 100 and something acres.
Yeah, so the other access is further down 22B.
Yeah. So I mean, as of this time, can I at least let Kenny know he's got a foundation in the ground, so he can move forward with,
Yeah.
that will allow him to tie on?
As long as you don't tie on. I mean, I don't see any issue with
I
that.
mean, on the water side, we do have out-of-district customers on the town side. They pay a different rate. So we would have to figure out the sewer side.
I would say make
before
it
we do
clear to
that.
him that he can plan to tie in, he just may be paying a different rate until he's part of the actual district.
Okay.
We'll make that clear to him in writing, please.
Tell him thank Chip for digging that out.
As long as nobody has an objection to adding that particular spot.
Absolutely not.
No, we
You
need
could
to,
dip
we
the
need to
chips
expand
on
it
a
anyways.
water line through it.
He ran water and sewer across.
I mean, that's, if the system can handle it, it's just more revenue the town's gonna receive from adding customers.
Yeah.
Heck, yeah.
So is there permission for this gentleman to do it?
The permission, it sounds like to tie in, just letting him know he's gonna be paying a higher rate until his property is part of the district, and there's no guarantee it ever will be. It may just be an add-on customer depending on what the board decides. As long as he's aware of that, and is okay with it in writing, so be it.
Great, good job, Bart.
Thank you.
Bringing in revenue for all your big projects.
We just lost the smallest takeout, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, put it in.
What happened, did they close?
Yeah, takeout, did.
It's just because I moved farther away.
Moved again?
No, from Cliff years ago.
Okay, did we get a motion to accept that?
Yeah, let's do that.
I'll make a motion.
Okay,
Second.
Bruno, Mr. Duquette, all
With
in
the
favor?
provisions and that put in.
Yep.
Yeah, with a motion to accept the out-of-sewer, which particular one are you talking about, Courtney, right now to accept that?
Silvers.
Kenny Silver is on 22B.
So a motion to accept Kenny Silvers on 22B as a new out-of-district customer with the provision that he will be paying likely a higher rate until the sewer district has expanded to encompass his property with no guarantee that that expansion will ever happen, so he may always be paying that higher rate.
Sure, that's what I said.
I'm not quite.
I heard you.
Could you send me the tax map number, email me the tax map number, please?
Yeah.
Just so that I have that for a FOIL request?
Yeah, good idea.
Very particular about FOILs.
Good enough, thank you.
All right.
How about that?
Good
We
job,
got right
Mr.
through that.
Douglas, man, you're a good.
Other business?
Good deputy supervisor.
You did a good job telling
I'm
him.
good. Got her up to speed.
Okay. No, no,
I'm good.
I'm good.
Quick shout out to Eric Beaver, Northeast Agronomics, whatever. He helped Courtney and I out with the issue on Sullivan Park.
Oh, nice.
Drugs were raising hell, and he gave us free information on how to solve the issue.
Thank you.
Courtney got it on, I saw the flag.
Yeah.
Cool.
You gonna tell the rest of us how to keep them out of our yards, or just keep that to yourself?
Apparently, they go in sandy soil, you can get it at Lowe's. We bought half a pallet, I assume.
Trying to save them grass.
Heard him tell us what to use over yet, have you, Matt?
I got it on my phone, I guess.
What is that?
Bear, made by Bear, it's a grub killer basically.
Oh, my gosh.
But apparently grubs are more prone, you look around town and see it, everybody's sandy lawns, you'll see the grub damage.
Yeah, that's why
Grubs are
I got a
easier.
swamp.
I got
Your grubs that snorkels.
I got no bills. They're drowned.
Okay,
Nope, nothing for me, thank you.
okay. Javi, you're the first one here.
Hey, Tyler?
Plucking away at Mike's list, we had a guy stop on the other side of the road the other day and say, hey, I see you guys everywhere, slow down, so it's a good thing. People are noticing that we're out doing work, they're observant, so. Other than that, getting trucks ready for paving, a couple small jobs coming up until we hit the big ones, so plucking away.
Good, thank you. Courtney?
I'm good. I think I had enough on
The 1996 water truck, what do you want me to do with it? I gotta have that answer.
You gotta have what?
I gotta have an answer what you want me to do next. You want me to just scrap it, bring it to scrap yard? What do you?
Scrap it?
I'd say scrap it.
That's
Yes.
what we were selling it as.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were gonna get bid. I know, I was up camp on a Friday. Guy did stop that was interested in the water truck, but he didn't bid, so.
No.
So that's that. We did,
Motion.
last Saturday, we paved
Make a
the
motion to scrap that.
patch on
Okay,
Sullivan.
Mike, we'll do a motion on that.
What was
Okay.
the, what was the year?
1996.
1996.
There you
I'll
go.
make the motion.
There you go, Mr. Douglas. I'll second. Oh, Mr. Miller, everyone got that? He's fast
All
tonight.
right, all in favor?
Aye.
Sorry, Mike.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
Last Thursday, we did pave the crossing where the culvert failed on Sullivan Road. I did turn in the striping list for the county. I cut it way back just because I can see with all the infrastructure is falling apart. I changed the paving schedule. We were originally going to do Telegraph, and then actually we were going to do that section of Sullivan. I'm going to give you some of the roads we're going to pave. I'm not going to give you them all, just because it's figured almost to the penny in a perfect world. We did end up with 404,000, which is just about what we got last year, thanks to all the lobbying. We're going to do Locust Drive in the village, just 900 feet. Rock Road from Lappin's Mills to Route 9. Davin Road from Route 22 to Union, that will be just binder. We're going to put a couple inches of binders. It's 90% farm traffic. The binder's got the bigger stone in it. It'll hold up a little better. And then John Boswell. And then I got two others, and they're just little roads. But just to give you an idea, you know, 400,000 sounds like a lot of money. Those roads right there are 373,000 to do, and that's in a perfect world. That's no shimming, that's no changing culverts, that's no ditching, anything like that. So
Price materials up.
yeah, right now the prices, of course, they just opened today, and it's the same price as we ended it last year, $59.35 a ton. They update that every month, so I won't have the new price until the end of May. So, like Tyler said, I got 36 or 38 projects ahead of them with culverts, and some of these we're working on from last year after the plant's closed, like Strackville Road, culvert got plugged during high winds and heavy rain. Trees or branches come down, leaves off the side of it. Anybody been to Strackville, it's like this, right to the road, plugged it over, took a pretty good section of the road out. So that's why we're kind of doing the road stuff before the ditches. I know some people aren't happy. Obviously, anybody that follows Facebook, we've been getting slammed for Telegraph because we think we've already fixed it, but we did one section. We did do a temporary fix a little over a year ago, 2 years ago, because we had applied for the Bridge New York funding. You know, and there was a lot of comments, people just don't understand, but I tried to, I explained to Mr. Ryan, it's the easiest way with that Bridge New York funding that I've been explaining. If you're going to buy a $300,000 house, you have a relative that's going to pay $270,000 of it. You're going to take that deal where it only going to cost the town 10%. So that's why the board has voted to go that way. Obviously, we can't anymore because we didn't get the funding. I've been telling people, and I'm not, I'm hoping this thing is done in a year. My gut feeling, it's going to take a year just to get the Army Corps and the engineer DC permit. We worked with Billy Jones on the funding for the Bridge New York, and that didn't work.
It's not a bad detour, Mike. I mean,
No,
it's livable, and it's not.
I scored. I was part of the scoring for this area. I wanted to see if I did the volunteer scoring. Obviously, I couldn't score Peru, but I did 3 county bridges, and I did Franklin County. And when it got all said and done, just because I was a scorer, they bumped me up one spot, but we still scored low. And part of that is because it's an easy detour. It's an easy detour. There is a large telephone wire that is strapped to the side of the head wall on that, so we don't have the plans to get that off from there yet. But you really can't do anything with the Bridge New York, because if you spend the money before you get the money, you can't write that off under that. So you eat that cost.
Yeah.
And there's 2 easements that need to be had. One is Mr. Lamica, and the other is Pat Remillard. And Dr. Pat, we can do whatever we need to do, Mr. Lamica too. Then I get an email from Mr. Lambert, well, it was sent to Billy Jones about all the concerns, and he's within 100 feet. But trust me, we took every step with the detours, was set up by a traffic engineer. You know, he had slid the barriers over to the lane that would come from the north and south, but you can't do that because the traffic is coming from Keysville going north, and that detour and that, or the ending barriers have to be in that lane. So I took the next step and we bought a 30 by 30 sign with Tyler that put it up last week. And it says no access beyond, and it's got his and his neighbor's number beyond this barrier. There's no through traffic. So, you know, it's a 30-30. So we've done everything we can. We have reached out to CNS Engineer. They have filed, waiting for the contract. I was hoping I was having it for the meeting. We got the recommendation from your engineer and Ventures. They would rather not, because we're going to have to start from scratch if we go with our own town engineer. CNS Engineer has filed the Bridge New York paperwork for us the last 3 years, so they got a lot of the design. The only question that came up on when they were doing the scoring, I should say, because I wasn't allowed. The structure is 27 foot wide inside. There was a question if that was going to be wide enough to meet the Army Corps and DC's specifications. So I did, when I talked to Jim Craig, I did bring that up. So they were going to do another hydraulic study just to make sure, so that's not a hiccup. So hopefully this thing gets streamlined, but you know, I'll be, you know, I'm sure it's going to be at least a year. It's going to be like that. It's frustrating, but we can't. It is a wetlands.
It's a start over, right? All the
Yeah,
developments that is coming
yeah.
out.
You know, people don't understand. I started this replacement way back when we did the first one at Sullivan. But at the time we had talked about doing that one and then doing the other one, but because of the cost, you know, and then we opted not to do that. But you know, but this project has been started for 4 years. It's just 3 years we tried to get the funding, and now it's to the point we can't get the funding. We got to move forward. So it is what it is. The only two things I got left to do down there is when the light plants come in. I told you on the light plants. They stuck the batteries that were in, but it had been sitting there for not the light plants, I'm sorry, the message boards. The batteries were, 4 years they've been sitting, so that those message boards had never been rented. So having them get them up here and then have the batteries go bad, they just opted to wait. They ordered 2 new batteries, they're paying for it. So when those come, I should see them. They thought 2 weeks, so I'm hoping by the end of the week we have them. And then those will be up in each end. We're going to pick a spot. Obviously, we're going to jack them up, we're going to pull the tires off because we know what happened on Telegraph, the other section. They stole one of the Lux light towers down there and generators. So that will do that. The temporary road, if anybody hasn't seen it, on Cook Road is done. We're out of there. It's just whenever Garrow wants to go. The structure is complete, so it's just a matter of when Ed Garrow and Sons wants to start. So,
Excellent.
So other than that, I guess that's enough for me. But it's been a pretty stressful month, I can tell you that. And top it off, I forgot. Saturday, I got a text, a newest employee that I got from Clinton County Highway. Text me, he has resigned. He's 21 years old. You know, you gotta go where you think where the money, you're gonna make more money and things like that. So we'll look for another employee at this point. The one good thing about it, it's this time of year instead of we're coming into plowing, so it's
Yeah, through the plowing session.
I know we struggle to find people because point blank, the younger generation, they don't want to get up at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. Come October, you live by the phone because you're 7 days a week and you can be on call. So it is what it is, but we'll get by. That's it. That's it.
Good.
Lisa stopped raining so much.
Tammy,
Bill tomorrow.
you good? Chaka, I went right by you, I apologize, sorry about that.
Things are good, it's picking up again, but I am currently covering for Jenny King. She's the DCO for Ausable in Keysville, just for about 3 days. That happens every now and then. I did it for the Plattsburgh guy once. I feel like we're the only town that actually has a backup in Brandy.
Good one.
He's not here to answer that, you know?
They literally,
You stand up and you say that, John.
We're gonna hold him to that.
Hey.
I'm sure.
I want him to, could you repeat that, please, John?
Deputy Dog Control Officer.
So that's it.
Thank you very, very much.
Excellent, I like that.
Ellen, save the best for last.
It was good today. We had a history test, our first history test, and we had 4 people. Doug Brown, Barb Perry, Judy Walpole, and Monica Remillard. And, thank you very much to Diane for making our room there look lovely, and to John for filming. We had a great morning, we thought. And our next history chat is June 17th. It's on the calendar. So, I'm also,
Are they all gonna be at 10 a.m.?
yeah. And, yeah, Mel made it in, said hi to everybody, that was great,
Yeah.
because,
It's retired people, they don't have a problem with that.
we start right at 10 and end at 10, or 11:30, and it worked really well.
Sister Marina.
And I'm doing a Peru history presentation at the Barton, they're opening this coming weekend, Sunday at 11. So,
11?
11. You'll know more than I'm going to tell people. I'll just, anyway, that's what we're doing now.
Thank you.
Are they opening Saturday or just Sunday?
It's just Sunday at 11. They're opening Saturday.
Oh, they are opening.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. 22 is public comments on agenda items only. John, you have anything?
No.
No?
That program, I might say that program today was great. The conversation was between Mrs. Remillard, Judy Walpole, and Mrs. Barb Perry, and Doug Brown, who came in at 103, drove in. It was just fantastic. It was, when we make it public, you people, if you have time, please watch it. It was awesome. They have so many wonderful memories of this, from the schools to the buildings to the, it's wonderful.
Great. Thanks, John.
You've been real busy there covering all of those events. Thank you, John.
Yeah, I can always use an additional writer.
Take your application as a professional.
Nobody else on public comments? All right. Number 23, I need a motion, resolution to pay the bills.
Make the motion.
Mr. Bruno. Mr.
A resolution authorizing the post office payment of certain claims, bills, and invoices of the town, whereas the town board has reviewed and audited the following claims, bills, and invoices for services rendered and goods provided to the town in April, May 2024, from town approved vouchers for April, May 2024, number 202400587 through including number 202400706, abstract dated 5/9/2024, for the dollar amount totaling $120,494.78, of that $29,363.75 was wired credit cards and prepaid of $91,131.03 is remaining to be paid for May 2024. Whereas the town board finds said claims, bills, and invoices to be acceptable in form at a reasonable amount, now therefore be resolved, the payment of the aforementioned claims, bills, and invoices is approved, and the supervisor being hereby is authorized to make that payment. Being further resolved, this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dukes?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Do we have an executive session? We do. Okay,
Personnel issue.
okay.
Yes.
Okay, I need a motion to adjourn to executive session.
Make the motion.
Mr. Bruno.
Second.
Mr. Will there be a decision made? No.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.